Good morning everyone. Yep, time's right to take a few pictures of the plants in the greenhouse. Now that the weather seems to have changed a bit, it's a bit warmer out. I must admit, as it's been so cold, well, I've found it cold because I'm on Wolfram and never get warm. I'm actually standing in one of the greenhouses now, feeling quite warm. Lovely blue sky. So let's go on. As I say, I had to catch up with a lot of potting up. Lots of work because, as I say, the last couple of years have been not very nice with the COVID and all that. I haven't been able to do much. But anyhow, I've got to try and catch up with things. Anyhow, this, as I say, this winter's been pretty cold at times. Start one end. The large mammillaria, unfortunately, this has been potted up like that for ages. I may try and repot it so it looks more respectable. Plant behind it, I hope I haven't lost, it's Phlokia edulis, which is quite an old plant, as you can see. But it's lost all its leaves and I chopped them back, so let's hope it's going to be okay. So I'm slowly repotting a lot of these things. Some of the shrubby mesems, odds and ends, stuff that I've still got to sort out. As I say, I got a large plant here, it was a large plant, of Herianthus mayeri. Excuse me giving the old name, don't hold with all these new names. I think it's Conophytum herrii now, but anyhow, that's what that one is. And they've got a little Glotophyllum seed set at the side there. Turning around, I've got two pots here of Neohenritica cibetii. It was in a clay pan. Let me show you. There's a few of the clay pans. But they didn't do very well, so I thought, well, perhaps change it and put them into some plastic pots. Here is just a temporary arrangement where I put my soil and do my repotting. Good tools to have for repotting, particularly when they're in, some of the old plants were in very old pots, clay pots, and you had a hell of a job getting them out. We got the good old dibber type tool and good old screwdriver, which definitely helps removing some of the old soil. All this end that we're showing you now is stuff that's either been partly repotted or completely repotted. They've had a drink this year. They don't look 100%. Mainly because they've been kept very dry during the winter months. You can see them there. Got some glosses. We've got a pachypodium there, which, excuse me, I think is lameri or gayeri, which grew completely wrong. That was in the other greenhouse. So we're trying to bring that one back to life, so to speak. A couple of small plants there. Now, while talking about compost, as a lot of you know, I had a lot of bad luck with a brand of compost which came from a very large do-it-yourself concern. It was made up, I believe, with garden rubbish, grass clippings possibly, stuff that had been previously treated with weed killer. Anyhow, long and short story was that it didn't do my plants any good and I lost quite a few lithops. At that stage I nearly gave the hobby up. I was so disgusted with the fact that they're allowed to put this stuff in. Anyhow, I've been talking to other people and they recommended one. I think it was called clover, but I can't get clover around here. But one I do get, I'll show you. is this one. This is the bag of one. It's called Green Days Horticulture. It's from Ireland, which I believe clover is as well. And it seems to be a very good compost. Unfortunately, and you expect this, I'm afraid, some of the bags were a little bit moist or damp. But anyhow, that's not the fault of Green Days. That's what it's called, Green Days Horticulture. And the one I've been using is Mature Plant Compost. John in his number 3. So that's the one, and it appears to be okay. Really just started it, so it's perhaps a little early days to be too sure how it's going to be. Also, I've been spending a bit of money. My old propagator, which is on the compost pile at the moment, finally gave out. It was one I had many years from a boot sale, I believe, or I definitely second hand, made by a company called Warwick, and they, I believe, were in Hastings. They used to be at Woodford, because I've actually supplied plants to them. Very nice couple, and the gentleman produced these wooden propagators. They had like a plastic top, and they were very good, thermostatically controlled. But unfortunately my one finally gave the ghost up. Don't know how many years old, 20, 30, perhaps 40 years old, quite a few. Anyhow, I thought the time had come to buy another one. I've got another propagator down the greenhouse, which I'll show you, the other greenhouse. Anyhow, this one I got is called Garland. There we are. This will give you an idea of the size. These are about 70 quid. Thermostatically controlled. You've got your 2 lights there. The red one indicates that the juice is on, and the actual thermostat is on when you get a little green light. At the moment it's been on all the time, so hopefully it will turn itself off when it reaches temperature, but it is warm, and I think it'll be very good for raising certain seeds. There's a few plants I've got in there. I put in some of the seedling Nellis, Plaspeus Nelli. I kind of like those. I think the 2 at the end are possibly Simulans. Baby's toes, Fenestraria. Few more Fenestraria. You've got a leafy cutting of epiphyte there as well, and a couple of other scraps. So anything which isn't looking too good, I can just cut and pop in there, and it gets a little bit of added heat. Ceruscula, it's a Ripsalis ceruscula, and Albuca spiralis. They don't look too good, but I think they'll be okay. Anyhow, let's have a little something else. I'll show you the other propagator and go down the other house. But yeah, a lot of these plants, mainly the non-succulents, are plants which came from a collection. Well, I was asked to look after them. Unfortunately, the young, well, it's not young, the person's plants they were, I seem to have lost touch with. I just don't know what is going on. I can't contact her or anything. But anyhow, the plants have done well, and of course it's added a few non-succulents to the collection. You've got a couple of Echinopsis there. I think they're hybrids, pretty paramount hybrids. So I'm keeping them to see what they're like when they bloom. There's one bloom there on the plant. This is not cacti, obviously. This is Samophora. I think it's Samophora. Samophora means sand-bearing. And in nature, these are not often found with a coating of like sand on the leaves. The other plants there are mainly Coreopsis, which means sleeve-like. I say that's more or less it on this side. Let's show the other side. Unfortunately, it's untidy in here. I'm not the world's most tidiest person, but I am trying to tidy up. Here I've got a selection of clay pans. What these pans are worth now, I've got no idea. I have had them many, many years. The one you can see at the bottom, that one, when I had a trip, and this was going back some years, in the car to Italy, to a town called Vallecrosia, which is on that northern coast. You've got San Miglio. Oh, I get the names wrong. But anyhow, it's Vallecrosia, and there was a pot factory there. And I went mad. I brought 20 of these back. Well, unfortunately, I haven't got many now. Some were loaned out to various people, and I never got them back. So that was that one. But all the other ones are either Ward or Sankey. And they're nice pans. And as I say, they're probably worth a bob or two. What else is there? All my tins of Raid and Asda. That kills most of the pests. Use it carefully. You don't want to kill bees or stuff like that. So obviously one should use their loaves and use it carefully. And also, if it's in the greenhouse, spray it and get out of the greenhouse. Otherwise you'll feel like fainting. It's nasty. And a few of the other pots I've got. Those green ones I bought years ago as a job lot at Wimbledon boot sales. Some other pots, some clay pots. This is not all the pots by any means. There's a load more down in the other greenhouse and scattered about the garden, which I'm slowly trying to sort out. Going further along, I'd like to show you these are trays which I get some food products in. Very good. When the food product's over, you've eaten it all, clean the tray and you've got a nice little tray to add to put plants in, which is what I've done to this one down there. So that's going to be moved to the other greenhouse. Things are constantly being moved about. Oh, when I was talking about that propagator, there are the trays that came with it. Obviously you can use them with the covers on, but for Cacti and Succulents I'd be very much against that. Just leave it open. Don't let them get too humid. And we've also got a light unit here as well. That was made by, get the company. It's got Veg and Bloom. There's two sets of lights on it. Needless to say, it's made in China. Unfortunately, they're taking over the growing of things. It's called a like sun. The name's under there, like sun. So it's supposed to imitate the natural rays of sunlight, and you can either turn it on for vegetation or flowers. I haven't really tried it yet, but you've got your two little switches on the top there. You can have them either both on or one or the other. So they're a LED grow light. Fairly new, but they seem to be things to do. Also, I turned this off while I was giving the little talk. I'm going to turn it back on again. You'll probably hear it now. The virtues of a heater fan is, in the summer you've got circulating air, which is a very good thing to prevent, hopefully, hot spots where you can cook the plants. And obviously in the winter you can keep the greenhouse frost free, which I tend to, although this last winter I had it set a bit too low and I lost a couple of plants. But you live and learn. There's the heater there. They're not that expensive, about, I think this was about 40 or 50 quid when I got it. Got another one of these down the other greenhouse. Yeah. So they're, you know, they're always handy to have. Anyway, I won't show you underneath there, a bit untidy. By the way, I lost my, well, I say I lost him, see through the window, my 2 tree ferns. They've had leaves on them for years, but this year they were frosted, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I haven't lost them. And also looking further beyond them, you can probably see the opuntias in the garden. They didn't like it either, but they'll probably come back. They're tough old so-and-sos. I've got to chop back some of them as well. They grow rather too well. Anyhow, that is all I'm going to say about this greenhouse. The next one will be the greenhouse down the end, which I've also done work on. So once again, thanks for watching. Any comments please make. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. So thanks for watching. Thank you.